That's
I mean,
fine.
she was under a blanket. I'll give her that.
Hmm.
Hello, Pat.
I love that
Hello.
Pat is here. Hi, Pat. I'm like, what time is it for Pat? 1 a.m.?
Probably.
I think, if I can do time change. Hi,
It is. It's
Craig.
like what? It's like 1 or 2 a.m.
Hello,
Pat.
everybody. Yeah, it's early.
Here.
I love it. Early,
Hello,
late.
Kiana. Everyone's here. That's great. Y'all know me. I'm not gonna introduce myself. You're on my channel, so you should know who I am. I feel like I'm maybe not, but unless somebody comes in and is like, this is my first time, but like, and then I will say something. But I'm still reading Jackal. Okay, I read a little bit more like after sprints earlier, but then I took a nap. So
I should have taken a nap. I did not.
there's
That would have been smart.
Hello, Alexis. Hello, Kelly. Everyone's saying hello. So, Brittany, you want to introduce yourself? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's
definitely can. Sure. Hi, I'm Brittany, and my channel is Brittany Loves Reading. I do a themed vlogs and some sit down videos, and that's what we do. And I sprint with Neva a lot of the time. So that's what that's my channel in a very nutshell. And I'm reading still. We did sprints earlier today, so all this information is the same. If you were on the sprints on my channel earlier today, you know what we're reading. It's I'm still working on the Ravens. I think I've read like 100 and some pages since we stopped sprinting. So I still have 116 pages left.
Do you have any actual thoughts? Because you've not had any thoughts at all.
Well, at the end, I had a few thoughts that it's not the best work, like it's not great words of literature, but it's just like a fun time. Right. And I still stand by that. Like the witchiness is fun. Like, and it's very light, and it's like, ooh, it's very young YA. Like it's coming across very like Halloween Town type of witchiness. Like evil. Although someone does die, so I guess maybe not that. Not that light, but like this is not like hardcore. This is very like light,
nice break with all the thrillers.
Like even the evil person is not like is moderately evil. It's just like a good time. All the magic is based around the tarot cards, which I think is kind of interesting. Like you can have like a Pentacles magic, or you can have a Cups magic, or a Swords magic, and I think that's kind of a fun take.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah, that's different. I haven't read that before, so some different. All the audiobook, they have like super, because I'm doing like a little bit, like if I was doing dishes, I was listening to the audio. They all have like really Southern accents, which I appreciate. But like she's doing it, because when she's narrating, she doesn't have a Southern accent, but when she speaks with the dialogue, she's having one. So I'm enjoying it.
I mean, that's good. I feel like it's a good break with all like the thrillers and stuff.
Yeah, it's good break with, exactly. It's been a spooky month, and the book that I read before this was very weird. It was like horror and weird. So it's kind of nice to have something that's not weird.
50 pages left in Assassination Classroom Volume 3.
You can do that.
Plotting Through the Changeling by Victor Laval. I have no idea how to say that, but we're just going to go with that.
Maybe?
That's what I would think. Laval?
That's how I would say it.
Laval? I don't know. Okay, I'm not good with names unless you tell me how to say it. Still reading My Sister the Serial Killer. Still reading Stranger in the House. It's like an OG CW show. Nothing groundbreaking, not masterpiece. Yeah, like exactly. My thing is, like sometimes, like I just want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I think there's a place for that. Like, I think sometimes books like that get a bad rap, that they're like not great works of literature. But I don't think the author was ever trying to. Like, that wasn't the space they were trying to make this book for. They're just trying to make something fun that's entertaining. And like, will I remember this book for a long time? Probably not. But like, I'm having a good time reading it. And it's a nice fluffy book amidst harder reads. So
right.
I'm good with that. Sometimes you need just, that kind of book.
Light. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're gonna do 45-minute sprints. We'll probably go till like midnight-ish. Let me make sure this is set to 15 minutes and not 10 because the other day I had it. Well, the other day I had it set to 10 because like I had no voice. I would be talking and then the voice would go out after like 10 minutes. So like I was like, okay, we're just gonna talk because Elise was like, she was like, we could just do straight sprints. And I'm like, yeah, but I still want to like know what y'all are reading and stuff. Like you know what I mean? Like so I was like, okay, we'll just do 10 minutes of talking. And I felt like with no voice, like 10 minutes was too long because I was like, and now my voice is fading out. So that's cool.
I know. I felt so bad for you when you texted me the day after the 24 hours. She was like, I've lost my voice. And I was like, no.
Like I had no voice. Like I could not speak above like a whisper. So like even to communicate with Ari, who was like in the same room with me, was hard because she'd be like, Mom, I can't hear you. What are you saying? And I'm like, okay, like I understand, but like you're gonna have to put your ear to my mouth because this is as loud as I can talk.
You're gonna just have to make do because this is what we're working with.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I mean, I'm liking my book, but also like I don't know. I was trying to like do the thing where like you try to figure out like where it's going. I don't know where it's going.
Yeah. That was what it was like with the book I read before this. I read Rooms, which is like a horror by Lauren Oliver, which I thought was going to be like lighthearted ghosts. Like I was not expecting it to be like not. So I went in thinking this was like really kind of like Casper level ghost was what I was anticipating. It's not.
Right.
That's not what it is. So you can really see that in my vlog from when I like describe the book based off the synopsis. And then when I come back after reading it, it's a real different vibe. So I was like, oh no, this is not what I thought it was. And it was just like, where are we going? Like, this is the weirdest book. Like, it was so weird. And I was like, where are we going?
Right. Okay. So
like,
because this one is black horror, like I did read the synopsis. And like I knew that it was like I knew what I was going in for.
Mm-hmm.
But like this doesn't really ruin anything. Like it really doesn't. Because they talk about the girls disappearing and the hearts missing and all that stuff in the synopsis. But like I'm just super confused by it because all of this stuff that could be we follow multiple timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So we follow a 2017 timeline, and then there are multiple past timelines throughout like the 70s to the 90s, like essentially is what we're doing. But because those timelines, past timelines are the girls that are disappearing or that have disappeared. And then the 2017 timeline is the main character dealing with the disappearance of her goddaughter, which is like her best friend's kid or whatever. So where I'm confused, which I'm sure that this is like the play into the racism part, but every girl that disappears, they claim is like they're missing their heart because of animal activity. But I'm reading this and I grew up in Iowa, okay? People hunt deer in Iowa. I have never seen a deer actually like dressed, you know? Like I've never experienced that. Like after you kill it and like clean it and all that.
Yes. Okay. I was like, what? Yeah.
Okay. So I've never seen a deer be dressed ever in my life. I don't want to. Okay. Yeah. But I know what the process is. I know what the process is. So as they're describing what when they discover the bodies, like what the girls look like, I'm like, this is how you dress a deer.
Right.
So how are y'all trying to tell me, like, how are y'all really trying to tell these people, like, animal activity. That's why their heart's missing. But literally, this is how you address a deer.
Also, like an animal would not just take the hearts.
Right. Well, and
They
like
would, an animal's not that selective.
So there was like one girl that she had other things, like some of the girls have other organs that are missing too, which I think is where they're chalking it up to like, oh, the animals like fed on them, whatever. But like an animal is not going to be precise. And when you dress a deer, it is precise cuts.
Yes.
No. And the way that they're describing the way that these girls are found is precise. So unless we have lions, tigers, and bears out here with scalpels and they're surgeons, I don't think so.
And if we do, that is disturbing.
If we do,
that is if you read the Twisted Ones, that is the Twisted Ones effigies, is what that is.
Like, no, like what is like, and I mean, it feels like a 5-star read to me because like the book is written very well. I don't know if this may be this author's debut. I'm not sure, but like it's heavy hitting. Like it's a good book, but I'm just it's sitting.
You see Chris's comment? I'm sorry, I just died.
That's basically it, Chris. That's basically it.
I literally just died.
Like I need everyone to read this book so I can discuss it with people.
I'll read it
because
so we can discuss it.
I don't understand. And I mean, I'm sure like we'll get the answers.
I'm sure. Well, sometimes you don't in horror. That's the issue with horror is sometimes they leave things very ambiguous.
There's one person at least. I mean, there's multiple people that feel suspicious to me. But there's one person that I'm like, if it's you, I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Because of some things that transpired previously.
Yeah.
But also if it's this specific person, that means that they've been doing this for like 30 years, or there's more than one person doing it.
I do love like a serial killer type book, which is what that sounds like. Like it just sounds serial killer.
But it also sounds like it could be some kind of like serial killer committee. Like I don't know how else to like say it.
Yeah.
You know, like a
yeah. Like an organization of such.
It gives me like adult Ace of Spades vibes. If you read that book.
Yeah, like a secret society.
Yeah, is it Ace of Spades like the, you know, I mean, this really doesn't ruin anything, but in Ace of Spades, like you find out that there's like a whole secret underground thing going on. That's what this makes me feel like. I read it. I actually read this.
You're there.
I gotta work on chipping away at Black Arenas on TBR. I'm failing miserably. Listen, I've done okay with mine, but I think I've only done okay with mine because like at this point, like I started, what was the first one I read? The first one I read was The Weight of Blood. And now like, that's all that I want to read is like black horror. So I'm pretty sure that's why everything else is just being abandoned at this point, because like all I want to read is black horror. So here we are. Because the thing like, okay, so like, horror, like hidden pictures, or like, you know, horror that's written by not black people, by like white people. You know what I'm saying?
There's a really big difference.
It's horror, like they put the horror elements into it.
Correct.
With black horror, like the whole story is just horrific. Like,
yes.
Everything that you read is horrific.
I really liked Bree from Lock Petition. She did that video not that long ago about like the difference, and I was like, yes, that.
Yeah. And where she was saying not to compare to Stephen King, because the only reason I was comparing The Weight of Blood to Carrie is because the author herself,
it's a retelling.
It's a very retelling. But also, if someone was like, "Do you suggest I read Carrie?" I would be like, "No, I suggest that you read The Weight of Blood because it's better." And I've read Carrie multiple times.
I haven't read Carrie, and I was wondering if I needed to read The Weight of Blood, and you were like, no. And I was like, okay, great.
Because
awesome.
Like, you could read The Weight of Blood, and then if you decided later, like, okay, I would like to read Carrie.
See me deciding later to read Carrie.
Yeah, like, because some people like the origin before they read the retellings. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and normally I would, but I'm not
But
like I've read
this-
one Stephen King and I was not fussed. To be
I
honest.
will say that other than the story itself, right?
Yeah.
The biggest difference is in between Carrie and The Weight of Blood, as far as like the character development type stuff, is that in The Weight of Blood, her father is abusive and crazy, and in Carrie, it's the mother that's abusive and crazy.
Okay. That's a very minor
That's really,
thing though.
but from what I'm understanding, Tiffany D. Jackson tends to make the fathers abusive in her books.
Oh.
Or not great people. If I
Mhm.
like, not necessarily abuse, because in the other one, White Smoke, the stepdad was not great, like, to the
Right.
main character. Like, he was not a great person, which, like,
Yeah.
in White Smoke, she is like a recovering drug addict and stuff, but like, even so, like, she's still a kid.
I was gonna say,
So
isn't that YA?
don't be a jackass. In my
Mhm.
opinion. Yeah, it is YA. And The Weight of Blood is also YA. So
Really?
but I felt like The Weight of Blood didn't really read YA. It's categorized as YA at my library.
I thought it was
But
adult. I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm hearing what kind of synopses of it, and I just assumed it was adult.
White Smoke reads YA.
Yeah.
To me. Not Carrie. The Weight of Blood didn't. It read older YA. It didn't
More like
read
new adult.
to me. Maybe new adult, but definitely like the old, like I would give The Weight of Blood like to Austin to read,
Okay.
but I wouldn't give it to like my 13-year-old brother.
Right.
Hold on.
No, you're fine. Oh, they're so cute. Yeah, I just got White Smoke, and I'm very excited to read it. And then I'm going to read The Weight of Blood because I want to read them in order. Because, yeah, that is my plan. I would click on the comments and go through them, but I have no control of the comments. So we're just going to wait for Neva to come back.
Hello, I'm back.
Hi. Sorry. I was like, I would have went through the comments, but I can't control them. So
I know. I was
like, I'm just going to talk
we should just do like what Michelle and Lexi do.
We really should.
I'm trying to get Rainy to do it. We could all just share one account, honestly. It would be so much cheaper.
Rainy doesn't sprint that much, I feel like.
She doesn't, but which she could use like the free version. I don't use the free version only because I sprint so much.
You could,
like, yeah. Is my brand.
Yeah.
I run out of.
I can't.
I literally run out of free space in like a week.
Yeah, you would.
Kiana flipped through hidden pictures today at Target and decided not to choose violence. It's very creepy. So here's the thing. I had put it on my wish list because I was like, I don't want to read this as a library book unless I can get the physical library book. But my library was like months out on hold for the physical. And I was like, I don't really want to read it on my Kindle because it has actual pictures, but I also don't read. My iPad is large. It's like this size under the biggest one. If I had a mini, it would be better, which eventually I'll get one because I like to read manga on my iPad. Because otherwise I would spend so much money on manga. We're not going to talk about it. But Hidden Pictures, Lauren ordered it for me. And I started just looking through the pictures because I was like, I'm not going to know what the pictures mean. So, like, it's okay. Like, I didn't want to show other people, but it was okay for me to look at them. And I was like, this is creepy. Honestly, I feel like it will be a book that I reread just because there's so much.
Yeah.
Hidden Pictures has so much in it. Like, I would like to read it one time without the audiobook. because I immersion read it, and she describes the pictures, and I would like to see what I pick up from the pictures. And in a year's time, am I going to remember? No, I'm not. I'm going to be like, yes, this was a 6-star book for me. The only 6-star book of 2020, whatever year this year is, 2022 so far. But I'm just saying, I won't remember the details. Yes, I love The Weight of Blood.
Yeah.
I
hope to read it next month. It's not on my TBR because I have a 15-book TBR, but if I can smush it in.
This is another one that I feel like I will get as a physical copy because I will reread it. And
I thought for sure this was going to get voted in with my Knock It Out November votes because everyone is reading it. And I thought, oh, for sure that's going to get voted in.
My thing with The Weight of Blood, like this is a book that if I'd had the physical copy, I would have annotated it. But I listened to the audio because there would have been like, there were things that's like in Jackal. I've been in Bookly, you can save quotes, or you can like take pictures in Bookly. It's another reason that I tend to use Bookly because I can fake annotate in Bookly and then transfer it to my reading journal. But Jackal is one that eventually I will buy it. Oh my God. I keep forgetting that we're dog sitting for Austin's dad. And then the dog will bark. And I'm like, what is happening?
Now, you know what those people with the cat timer felt.
Oh,
like, where is the cat?
Or like earlier today, Ari came upstairs. She was like, I was downstairs petting the dog. And I was like, what dog? And then I was like, oh, Austin's dad's dog.
That's fantastic. You're like, when did we get a dog?
Right. Yeah. But a lot of these books that I've read for Black and Wiener, I'm like, I will end up buying them to reread them just so I can annotate them. And just so y'all know, until this year, I was not an annotator. The first book I annotated was Verity and It Ends With Us, because I was reading them at the same time. Hello, Alexis. Welcome back.
That's important.
I'm going to have to get beverages at some point. All I have really is water and coffee. And
I went and got coffee in preparation to be up with you.
I might go make coffee. Because if I drink coffee past 11 p.m.
If you haven't, the other day I did sprints and didn't have Tim Hortons and people started calling me out. I had made my own coffee. I was like, clearly I've started a brand. Like, this is how I do sprints.
The couple of times that I brought coffee like home from Dunkin' when I was working there, they were like, you didn't make your own coffee? Because I usually make my own.
Yeah.
And I was like, technically I made it. I brewed the coffee and put all the stuff in it at Dunkin'.
So. True.
Misery Better. Yeah, I mean, so my favorite Stephen King novel is The Green Mile. It's very long. Not as long as it, but it's still very long. Unnecessarily long, really, but that's fine. And honestly, the movie adaptation of Green Mile was really good, in my opinion. That was the first movie that I ever watched in AP English where the entire classroom was crying, so I didn't feel like such a little bitch to be crying in school, but like that one. Carrie Well, I think Weight of Blood so far is an improvement. Yeah, I think so too.
I've heard that pretty much across the board.
Yeah, Maddie. So Maddie is the main character in The Weight of Blood, and I do agree with this. I was never really rooting for Carrie. It definitely was more of like I felt badly for her and her situation, right? But I wasn't rooting for her. Like, I wasn't like, I hope you win. But with Maddie, and at first I thought maybe it's because I'm mixed. I'm not white passing. So that's the difference between me and Maddie, is Maddie's skin tone seems to have been light enough that they didn't suspect that she was black. Right. Because her dad would like hot comb her hair straight and like make her be very white passing. But I think I related to Maddie's character more being a mixed kid that didn't really feel like they didn't really fit in with the white kids, but there weren't really enough. Like, her school seemed to have had more black kids in it than mine did. But I mean, I'm from Iowa, so what do you expect? But even the few years that I had other black kids in school with me, like, I didn't necessarily feel like I fit in there either. It was very much like I just don't really fit anywhere. And so I definitely was rooting for her the entire time. Fairy Tale by Stephen King.
Gotcha.
So this is going to be part of. I have it right here because we
I
got
was
it.
gonna say,
And
did you get that on your trip when you went home?
I did. I did
Yeah.
get it on my trip. It was the one that I was gonna put back so I could get the second Amari, and then Sam told me no. This has illustrations in it, which I'm really excited for.
Oh, that's nice.
Like that. So I'm really excited to read this. I hope it's really good. I know that Kim didn't like the fantasy part of it, but
Right.
I like fantasy. So it's probably going to be part of my fantasy era, and I'm probably going to do some kind of dedicated vlog with this one because it's such a big book.
It is.
It looks bigger than it is because it's only 598 pages.
That's still big.
But I mean, it's still pretty chunky. You know what I'm saying? Not as chunky as Crescent City, but it's still pretty chunky.
Well, no.
And so I'm probably gonna do a dedicated, like I read Fairy Tale by Stephen King style vlog. I'm thinking of doing more vlogs like that. So if y'all have any suggestions for what I can read, that'd be great. But I'm thinking of doing more vlogs like that just because that allows me to read one book at a time, but also not feel like I have to be. They're over there. The socks. Mm-hmm. They should be over here. Or they might not moved. They're in there somewhere. It's just organized chaos in there.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, I think jeans might be folded, but otherwise it's just like shirts.
Okay. No, we're good.
She said, hello, Courtney. Having dinner after a long work day?
Hello.
Hope to read soon. What are you reading? We need to know. Happy. Oh, I read this. I think actually her comment showed up twice because YouTube does that. Because it's literally like the same comment, so I feel like
it definitely did. Yeah.
The Weight of Blood is so good, and the twist makes it. Yeah, I really liked the twist. The end. By the way, I could get The Weight of Blood on Scribd if anyone wants.
I can too.
Get to the audio, so that's.
I really want the physical copy.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread it physically, even if they take it off Scribd, I'll reread it just with my eyeballs.
Yeah,
and I actually might do. If I do that, because it'll be a while probably before I reread it, I might do a vlog of like my reread of The Weight of Blood. I don't know. I'm trying to do more themed stuff. I just feel like otherwise I'm floundering around.
Yeah, I like doing theme vlogs just because I feel like it gives me some sort of like direction.
Right. Courtney's having garlic bread and
that sounds good.
That sounds delicious. Got yourself a hydro flask. Been drinking so much water. Yeah, I need to buy a new I had a hydro jug. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but they're like plastic. They're a plastic jug. I think they're a liter or something, but they're a plastic jug and you can get like sleeves and stuff for them. I had one when I was in Florida, but they also have like detachable straws, and I need to get a new one. Maybe I'll get a hydro flask though, because I really do like the hydro flasks. But I just need to get like a big water bottle, like a big beefy one that just sits like over here, because I drink the most water when I'm reading.
Yeah,
and I read a lot. Yes, I love the Green Mile. Hydro flask it's like a big water bottle.
Yeah, it's in the comments.
Yeah, that's the only thing is I'm pretty sure the hydro flasks are, because they're insulated, they're metal, so they're stainless steel, so they definitely don't. They still have that fresh water taste to them, as opposed to using like a plastic bottle, which is what the hydro jug is. It's plastic. Although hydro jug has come out now with some other ones that are metal and glass, which is kind of why I thought about going back to that, is because they do have other options. Yeah, you can do hot cold in them. So. Yes. But yes, I don't know how long we've been talking because my light is sitting over the top of the
only half an hour.
That's fine. That's about average for this
Especially
channel.
for the first one. Like the first one's always because you guys say hi to everybody and introduce everything. There's a lot in the first bit.
Hello, Taylor. How are you? What are you reading or doing? You don't have to be reading.
Yeah, I'll probably do both, like physical audio, but I'm waiting to get the physical.
Honestly, The Weight of Blood, the audio.
I'm going to the bookstore tomorrow, so
fun. So I started doing the Broke Bitches book buying ban. Sarah convinced me.
I can't stick to a book buying ban. Like, I've given up.
So I think the only reason that I'm gonna be able to do it is because I told Sam about it. And he was like, so does it count? Like, because he was asking questions like, okay, what if someone buys you a book? And I'm like, well, that's a gift.
Yeah, that's
like,
not the same.
This is like me buying books. And what I did was I downloaded both of the bingo boards because they do now have 2 bingo boards. Because they all finished the first one.
Yeah.
So the girls at Ruby's Digest, Christine and Monique, I think, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But they made a new bingo board, and then of course, like Sarah is like part of it and stuff too. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this because what's the worst that can happen? I have to continue because it reminds me of like what is that called? It's like a workout thing where like I can't think of what it's called. 75 hard. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay, that it reminds me of, but for books, and I don't have to do any heavy lifting.
Right.
Books.
That makes sense.
Sometimes books are heavy. You know.
I tend to like buy books like. If I've had a hard day, I'm going book shopping. Like, that's basically how I live. And I just go, like, I don't want to deprive myself of happiness. So I think
this will work. I think this will work for me because I am that person that, like, I either buy no books or I buy all of the books. There's not
I'm the same way.
Between. So I was like, okay, but this is like a game that gives me, like, incentive to like do the thing, but I do need to figure out how they're putting I have it in GoodNotes right now, and there's no way to like mess with the what word am I looking for? The transparency of the book, like the book covers.
Right.
So when I put it over the top of the bingo board, like it's over the top of the thing. And also I just want everyone to know I'm not counting any books that I read prior to downloading the bingo board. So like the first book that's on here is Legendborn because I finally finished that. So and gave it 5 stars. But like, and then the next one will be Jackal, but I have to decide where I'm going to put it because I could put it under a library book. I could put it under nope, that's about it, I think.
Well, that makes the decision.
Well, I saw it on books / book talk. I guess I could put it in there. But that's like about it.
But that one might be easier. I guess library book's pretty easy to fill too.
Yeah, like there's a library book one. There's like drink coffee after 11 p.m. Like that's the other thing is like I like that some of them are not necessarily reading prompts. Mm-hmm. Like they're not necessarily like book specific, but it'll also fit into my Gilmore Girls stuff. Because like I'm always looking for challenges or fun things to do with reading that also fit with the Gilmore Girls thing. Because my Gilmore Girls game is so vague. Like, yeah. Also on a book buying ban with the exception of any book subscription boxes I'm already subscribed to. And I like their rules for this because they only have 6 rules. Which obviously the classic, like you can't buy a book unless you get a bingo. For every bingo you get, you can buy 1 book, but a box set of books, like if you buy a box set, that counts as a single book.
Oh, okay.
So if you're if I was like, well, you know what, we're gonna do Throne of Glass because we're gonna read that eventually, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna I get a bingo, I'm just gonna buy the whole box set. Then I have the whole thing, but it's 1 book. And then if you black out the board without buying a book, you can buy a 13th book. You can buy 13 books instead of 12 because there's 12 bingos possible. If you buy more books than bingos you have to start over. You can move on to the next board when you black out the current one, and you can buy up to 3 special edition books per board with no consequences.
Right.
So because Christine from Rumi's Digest was like, I know that people do book subscriptions, that they're not necessarily going to want to stop their book subscription.
Well, yeah, because sometimes the wait lists to get into some of those are really long.
And especially like the bougie ones that have the special edition box. Like, I mean, I guess it's one thing if you're only getting book of the month, like you could cancel that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But because you're getting a standard copy of the book, like you just might get romance in hardcover, which who reads romance in hardcover? Not me. But otherwise, like if you're getting something that's like sprayed edges, signed by the author, special edition cover,
that's
like,
a different thing.
Right. So you're allowed up to 3 of those, so you can get them through a box or however else. Yes. What is she reading? She did not say. Everyone's saying, hey, just bought a bunch of books from Thrift Books.
Very nice.
Make sure to hydrate, people. What day is it? It's Saturday, so I mean, you could get away with booze. I don't really like.
Or dehydrate you.
I don't like to be advocating booze on like a Tuesday. You know what I mean? People usually have to go to work the next day. But it's Saturday. You can turn up. All right. So we'll go ahead with a 45-minute sprint.
Perfect.
And we're going to use the haunted house background.
I love it.
Because that's creepy and cool.
It is creepy.
And I'm reading a creepy book. So earlier we used the
Dark
Academia.
We went with vibes. I love it.
Brittany was reading Dark Academia. I mean, she still is. And I'm reading Creepy. So that's what we're going to go with. And we will see everyone in 45. Got it.
I was like, that's a little close.
How did we do?
I did 32 pages, which isn't too bad for, the middle of the night when my eyes
Wonderful.
are tired. So I'm happy with that. How did you do?
I did 10 pages. But I was
That's
also doing
okay.
other things.
Progress.
So that's fine. Yeah, I did 10 pages. And also I find that I have to like pay attention to like what's going on. Like there's so many pieces to this story.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like very easy YA. So it's pretty easy to just like, I don't have to focus like
read it
hard.
quick.
Yeah.
Hello, Elena. How are you? Done with
I'm
Eyes
sorry
of
to
Prey.
hear that.
Oh, I'm so sorry about your dad's uncle. She also said hello to you.
Hi.
Hello, Betty. Nice to see you.
Hi,
I love your
Betty.
name. Also, I just gotta say it.
Yeah.
Yes, here we are on the sprints. Oh, I also did film my vlog clip for today, and I was like, hello, this vlog's gonna be very short. It's gonna be today and tomorrow, goes up on Monday. So I did do that.
I love that.
So
I love a weekend vlog.
I'm just gonna be like, I was like, I've had no voice. So if you listen to Vlogoween week, and then I couldn't remember what week we were on, which we're on
4?
week 4. But I was like, the last Vlogoween vlog, like you can hear it at the end because I had to close it out. And so I was talking like this into the camera, and I was like, I'm not gonna talk very long. So sorry, y'all can barely hear me. It's fine.
Yeah.
My son says I'm listening to the new Taylor Swift album while he eats dinner. He's so extra. I swear to God. Listen.
I think this is an excellent use of dinner time.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the Taylor Swift album yesterday. Okay, a few times.
I feel like you have to.
But here's the thing.
It's like a society as a whole, just to be like up on what's going on.
So here's the thing. Christina Aguilera also dropped the 20th anniversary of Stripped yesterday.
She did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So I
also actually think I saw that on your stories, but didn't like connect what was happening.
Yeah, because I was like, y'all sleeping on this. Because they're like remastered and all that stuff, but they're all like the same songs that were on the original. And then she added a couple, I think, too. And so I listened to that as well. Here's the thing. I liked Midnights. Okay. I really did. Like, I enjoyed it. It was great. But I am like, there's a certain era of Taylor Swift that I prefer.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that.
After Reputation, like I tried to listen to, which one is it? Folklore? Was that the one after?
Yeah.
And
it came after. I don't know if there's one in between, but
I think there was one in between, and I tried to listen to both, and they just like were not my vibe. Like I'm very much like Taylor Swift when she was 13.
Oh, I loved the original Taylor Swift country era.
Taylor Swift, who was country and then kind of went into pop. Like that's my era of Taylor Swift. Like my favorite Taylor Swift album is the Red album.
Red is a good album.
Not everyone liked that album, but it was my favorite album. Yeah. I did like the Reputation album, like that was fine. But after the Reputation album, I was just like, my era is over. So the fact that she's now making all of like the Taylor's version, like now I get to live that era because that's the era.
You get to relive it.
So.
Yeah, I felt like I mean, I'm not a huge, like, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I'm not like, she has like fans, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
So, but I don't dislike, like, I know the ones that are on the radio all the time. Do I know like every song of hers? I've heard them, but probably couldn't sing them. But I was like, okay, I have to listen to this just so that I know what.
So you know what's up.
What's up? Exactly.
And listen, the Midnights album was great. Like it was great. I'm just saying that like this was actually a conversation me and Sam had yesterday too, because there's just a certain, it's like with Miley Cyrus too. There's a certain era of Miley Cyrus that I like. And after
Yeah.
that,
I
but
think it's also like both of these people you're talking about really reinvented themselves over the years.
Right.
Like there are definitely like eras. Like some artists, all their music is kind of similar. Like no matter when you're looking, like yes, there's evolution, but not like huge. But both of those, there's definitely like this, and then there's this. They're very
Right.
different. They're not really even slightly the same.
Same.
Yeah.
And like as a singer, like I get it. Like when because I sing, not right now because my voice sounds like trash, but I do like sing. So like I get like wanting to try things out, like especially if it's something that you've always wanted to do or whatever. I'm never gonna like judge another artist for doing that. I just know that there is a certain era that I sit in. You know what I'm saying? Like I will belt some teardrops on my guitar. I'm just saying. Like I am a 13-year-old who thinks her heartt's broken, who's never actually had a heart.
And I was in high school when that came out. So I was like, yeah, this is my jam. Well, I relate to these lyrics at 13 or in high school. Like when I was like, yeah, that makes sense. We're about the same age.
So when I was a freshman in high school, I was 13.
How is that possible?
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Because my birthday is in November. So I was on the older scale of
gotcha.
Like because like my birthday didn't hit before Labor Day. So I couldn't, so I started like a whole year after. Also,
I think high school in the States starts a year earlier than it does here because you have a 4-year high school, correct?
Yeah, we go from
we only have 3.
Grade 12. So
we only have a 3-year high school in my area of Canada. I can't speak for all of Canada, but I can only speak for Nova Scotia, Canada, and we only have 3 years.
9th grade, I was 13, but I turned 14 so we would start in August and then I would turn 14 in November. So like I wasn't 14 for very long. But ate a late dinner instead of reading and watched an episode of Vampire Diaries. Both my baby's parties today and I'm exhausted. You know what? That is exhausting. Thank you. Okay. Birthday parties they're
very tiring. There's so much.
Sam is making me have a birthday party, so we're gonna go do karaoke.
Oh, that's fun.
And we're gonna do like cake and stuff like with the kids first because they can't go to the karaoke bar with us. Like you have to be 21 to go, so like they can't go with us. So. Editing, wonderful. Got to the end of the next chapter.
Very good.
I left off in the middle of a chapter. Do I usually do this? But I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to just like embrace that I'm not always gonna be able to finish.
You can do it. You can embrace it. You can do it.
It's a goal for 2023. It's a goal for 2023 to be that person.
When that timer goes off, just put it down wherever you are.
In the middle of a chapter. I need to be that person. But also I know that I won't ever be that person that can like leave off in the middle of the chapter and then pick the book back up 2 days later and remember what happened. I will never be that person.
No, I would not do that. I need to finish
if I
the chapter.
Know, because
I'll stop for sprints, but when the sprint is over, like when we leave and I'm like, okay, how many, like I'll finish the chapter before I go to bed or whatever. Yeah.
Past the sprinting time. 10 pages left. You can do it. You'll get that done. Ate dinner, still on the same chapter of Crown of Midnight. Didn't get much read. That's fine. Dinner is productive. Just made dinner, no reading. I might make some French fries in this next round. Yeah, that's what I said. Because in another life, another era, I had a job as a dancer. That's as far as we're gonna go. And the song "Dirty" was one of the songs that was like, damn, like that was a song that I used.
That's a good song.
And 20 years ago, I was 10 years old. Like I feel like I should not have been listening to "Dirty" at all. But we were. It's fine. They was played at school dances.
100%.
No. Okay, so
that makes more sense.
I did not listen.
I think there was one in between. Yeah,
I tried I tried a couple of songs from each of these albums, Lover, Folklore, and Evermore, and it just was not my jam. But they're more folksy. I'm not a huge like folk person. Like that's not a genre of music that I listen to. Taylor Swift as a country / pop artist, that's my era. Okay, that's You Belong With Me, all that's my era. Taylor Swift, Fearless, and Red were my life. Also, hi. Hello, Steph.
Hi,
also,
Steph.
honestly,
I agree with the statement.
all of the early albums by Taylor Swift, like probably like the first 4 or so, were basically my personality as a young adult. They were my whole personality. Okay, with like a little bit of Lady Gaga sprinkled. From Red On is my jam. Yeah, I have all of the Taylor's versions. I have all of those, and then I have all of this stuff up to Reputation. She started to kind of lose me after she did Look What You Made Me Do, which I think is on the Reputation album, and I was like, I mean, okay, but like also
although she really does have a way of like getting a song that it just will stick itself. Like her lyrics will stick in your head.
And I'm like, do I like this song? Like, I don't know that I like this song.
No, but it gets in there, and it lives its own life in your brain. Like she can write a catchy lyric. She really can.
Yeah, because Lover, I think, is the one that had this song that she did with Brandon Urie. I think Lover had that song on it, and it also had the other song, the gay pride anthem song.
You Need to Calm Down.
That one, and I liked both of those songs, but the rest of the album, like.
That's what I mean. I know the ones that were like big that she did videos for or singles for, but if you go into the albums as a whole, I'm sure I would get lost amongst some of them.
Yeah, her new album is a different vibe, and I could see. I mean, I don't need to know your reasoning, but I could see stopping at 1989 because that's actually almost where I stopped with Taylor Swift was the 1989 album, because I was like, I mean, I will shout. Listen, I don't believe in having like guilty pleasures. Like anything that I find pleasurable that's not like self-destructive or like harmful to other people, like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I just did not like. I don't know, like the remastered versions of Fearless and Red were really great. And I was glad that she was like able to do that. But 1989, like I liked Blank Space, but I was also like conflicted about that song.
I was actually just about to go. I don't even think I could tell you a song on that album, but thank you. I do know that song.
And I also liked the song Bad Blood. That's like supposedly about like her and Katy.
Wasn't that on Reputation?
No, that one was on 1989.
Oh.
That was the video that had like Selena Gomez. And,
yeah, it had like every famous person that ever. It had everybody.
Yeah, and like it was fine. Like I mean, like the song was good. You know what I'm saying? Like and everything. But like because for like the longest time, I mean, I might still do this, but for the longest time, there's like a lyric in Blank Space that's like it's like I can make your good dreams turn into a nightmare or something like that. Like for like the longest time, I wanted that as like a tattoo, which is like fine. Looking back at the Tiny Child, I also preferred Shania Twain's pop versions of her stuff too. So maybe I'm just a pop girly. Yeah, Shania Twain is another one where I very much preferred. I very much prefer Shania Twain. Because Shania Twain kind of dabbled with everything. Like she had like a rock period. She did country mainly, and then she did some pop stuff. But I feel like pop and country kind of intersperse anyway. But like the Taylor Swift album, the Fearless album, the Speak Now, and Red, those were like my personality. Oh, Cool. Please hold. Oh, my Lanta. Well, it's been a minute since we got trolls in here, so that's fine. Shania was the blueprint for the country pop crossover. Yeah, and I mean that's like fine. I mean, country and pop, I feel like have like I'm surprised that it took that long for it to be a crossover thing. Just because I feel like those two genres work hand in hand with each other. But yes. Yeah. So we're gonna wait. I'm gonna give Brittany a couple minutes. I think she went to go do bedtime. But I grew up on country. My mom listened to a lot of country. So we listened to a lot of like the Chicks, you know, back when they were the Dixie Chicks before they changed their name. Which I mean, good on them for changing it. We listened to like George Strait, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill was like a big thing for me. Like it was all a thing, you know? I was one of those fans who directed her songs for deeper meaning, and it was just too much for me at that point. And I listened to music to enjoy it. Yeah, and Taylor, I feel like Taylor Swift, there are a few artists, Taylor Swift being one of them, where when they bring out songs, their songs can easily be inserted into different meanings, right? So like an artist, I mean, Taylor Swift was one of those artists for me. Demi Lovato, sometimes it tends to be an artist is like that for me. And then the song Not Afraid by Eminem, that has like a deeper meaning, which I mean it's about his addiction, but like it has a deeper meaning for me, like on a personal level. A lot of the music I listen to, I just listen to enjoy it. But there are definitely songs that I'm like, oh, this means something. You know, it hits right. Mainly country. Yeah. Listen. I also love Britney Spears. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandma, she kept me up on my like Christian music. My opa, which would be my grandpa on my mom's side, he would buy a lot of like the pop stuff, so a lot of like Britney Spears, Destiny's Child, stuff like that. Like there were always people that were keeping me up to date on things. Finished your book, 3 stars for Assassination Classroom Volume 3. Wonderful. I mean, 3 stars is like middle of the road. So but also glad that you finished it. Going to read 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle next. I need to order this book because it's the Besties Book Club book for March, I think, because we're doing Catherine House for February. Or January and February, and we're doing the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, or the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It just like depends on where you get the book from, I think, which is weird. But we're doing that book for Bessie's Book Club as well. Mom hates pop and calls it bubblegum music, but I hate classic rock. So yeah, and I mean, I also grew up with grandparents that were young enough to be my parents because my mom was 16 when I was born. So hello, welcome back.
Hey, sorry.
So I got a lot of like Etta James and like James Charles and all of that, but then also my grandma, like the first song I remember like performing like in front of people is How Great Thou Art. Okay, which sounds ridiculous and very cliched because it's like a classic like Christian song, but like to this day, if someone is like, "Can you sing a song?" and like I just need one like off the cuff, that's the one I go with. But like I warn people, like this is the song that I think of when you want me to just sing something. So like I'm not asking you to believe in Jesus, okay? Like I'm not asking you to do that. But also like
especially it's just like a pretty song. And also if like you grew up listening to that kind of stuff sometimes, like, and also it was like, even like there's people who have that one like on, like it's not necessarily like it's just a pretty song.
Right. And it has enough high notes in it that like you can get my full vocal range if I sing it, because like the ending is basically me shouting. Pretty much.
Yeah, but it's hot. Like it has a good, like you said, it has a range of notes. Like it has low, high. It's got a little bit of everything.
Right. Okay. Are we ready for another sprint?
I am free and clear for the rest of the evening, which is very exciting. I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the basement so that no one hears me talk. Like everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go downstairs because then I won't disrupt anyone. And I was like, I've never sprinted down here. I was like, I never come down here.
Like,
the lighting is god awful, but we're just going to overlook the pot lighting, and I will just look like I'm an angel from heaven. This glow.
This little light right here, which Sam was like, we're gonna have to get you the bigger one because they have a bigger one that you can like put your phone on it and it like adjusts or whatever. But I was like, this lighting is much better than the lighting I've been having since the beginning of my channel.
I'm like, you know what? I think sprints is different than videos too. I filmed down here once, and there's like the tiny, because it's a basement. So there's like one tiny little window that is above ground, but the rest of it is all just, and it's pot lights, which pot lights are the worst ever lighting that has ever happened. But it's sprints, you know. Whatever.
And I feel like with sprints, I mean, unless you are someone that like does Twitch streaming, people are more forgiving with you on a live stream where it's like sprints, because like here, like we're just
here with our friends, you know, like that's what this is.
To be professional, you know what I'm saying?
It's fine.
I'm not even really anymore, but sometimes I'll still listen to. I have a lot. Like I have a lot.
1 second, I'm just gonna Marlena. Yeah, we're gonna be sprinting for a while.
Yes, we're sprinting again. You do have
time to get a snack.
Make a snack. I'm probably gonna make a snack this sprint too.
I was just like, I'm gonna answer this because it kind of is pertinent to like answer quickly.
I love Jesus, okay, but like I just don't talk about it that much because like I don't feel like
that Ellen clip where it's like, I love Jesus, but I swear a little. That's what that was.
I just don't like. I read my Bible and like I do Bible study and things, but like I just don't feel like it's anyone's business. Like unless you ask me, like I'm not gonna tell you. But also, I am that person that will like walk through the house singing about like the glory of God and all that stuff, and people will like look at me and be like there was one day my friend was doing my best friend was doing my hair, and I was singing something. Hold On, I think by Selah, which is a contemporary Christian song.
Yeah,
and she was like, "What are you singing?" And I was like, "Just the song is in my head. It's fine." And she was like, "Are you singing about Jesus?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "All right, cool."
You know.
yeah, we're gonna be going for a little while longer. Yeah, like a while longer. It's 9:45 here, so
it's 10:45 here, but I'll power through until I'm tired, and then what will happen is it was during the 24-hour sprint. She'll know. I was like, yeah, I'm fine, and then she put on an hour and a half sprint, and about 30 minutes into that,
because I was like, well, I'll just do now and go take my shower. And Brittany was like, I have fallen asleep 3 times, and I was like, just go to bed.
I was like, I texted her and I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
Honestly, it was a valiant effort.
I was like 1 a.m. I did very well.
You did, because I was like, she says she's gonna stay up, but like
and I probably could have if we hadn't done an hour, but because it was like such a long sprint, I wasn't getting like, oh, I only have 15 minutes and then we'll talk and I'll wake up. But like, it was like, oh no, we still have an hour and then we'll talk and I'll wake up. And I was like, I'm not going to make it an hour.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Well, and the thing is like, I should have thought
been okay.
Like, no,
That's
But, like,
okay. I didn't care. I was just like, I
chaos
had to text you and be like, I'm out.
chaos was starting at that point, and once the chaos begins, like, there's not a lot I can do, and I just don't make rational decisions
I
anymore.
don't blame you. But that's what will happen tonight. I was like, because I didn't tell you, I was like, I will come, but I'm not making any promises to how long I
Yeah.
will stay. Because what will
Also
happen is I will be fine. And then I will be like, peace, I'm going to bed.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what to do for how to do 24-hour sprints
In November?
in November. So here's why. So my birthday is on the 8th, which is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I
don't
could
think
do
you should do them on a Tuesday.
I could do them. I could do 24-hour sprints on a Tuesday.
But would it be worth your time?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I could do them from Tuesday to Wednesday, because what I could do is I could just go to bed on my weekend schedule for Monday, because I have I sleep when Ari's at school during the week, and then for the weekend I get up on her schedule. Does that make
Yes.
sense? So I could follow my weekend schedule Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, no, on Tuesday, and then sleep, because we'd be off by 10. So then I could sleep from 10 to 2 on Wednesday, and then get her off the bus, and then go back to my regular schedule.
Right.
Or I need to ask a few more people. I've already asked you, Brittany, if you'll be on the sprints. But I need to ask a few more people.
I probably will be.
If they can do daytime sprints, because what I was originally going to do was just one 12-hour sprint on my birthday, just a 12-hour.
Yeah, I can do that, but I may have to like just turn my camera off and go mom for a bit and come back. But I can be here. Yeah.
But then I was looking at my schedule, like I was looking at everything. So my new D&D group starts on the week after my birthday. So it starts and it's on Saturday, and we're doing it every second and fourth Saturday or something, like basically every other Saturday of the month. So like that's fine. So I was like, well, that weekend's not going to work, because I'm literally going to be playing D&D. So like, unless everybody wants to listen to us role play, which is really weird, and I don't want that on Beyonce's internet, that's not work. But then America has Thanksgiving.
When?
So America has Thanksgiving on the 25th, which is a Thursday. But my Thanksgiving, I will be out of town. Like, Ari and I are going to Iowa for Thanksgiving, and our Thanksgiving is on the 26th, which is that Saturday.
Right.
So
what if you did the
and then the weekend? Okay, so the weekend of my birthday is my birthday party.
Okay.
So we could do it on the 5th. We could do it the first weekend of November.
Yeah.
So we could do that. We could do it the first weekend of November for 24-hour sprints, which would be the 5th and the 6th. And then
do 12 hours on the 8th?
I mean, I'm going to be dead. It's going to be fine. And
that's what I said that with a question mark behind it. And then do 12 hours on the 8th? That's what I literally went, are you sure?
Because like the birthday sprints, like I feel like I can't move them because they were voted on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's like a specific day.
Yeah, because originally we were supposed to be doing D&D on the 12th, but because my birthday party is on the 12th, and like the
you
DM
moved it to the 19th.
My game is invited to my birthday party, that's not going to work. So I think we're doing it on the 19th instead, but then the 26th, I'm not even going to be here, and I'm going to be at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's either the 5th or I would say skip a month.
We might skip a month, and y'all might just get the 12th. And then
the reason being is I just don't think it'd be worth your while to do it on the 8th, because it's the middle of the work week, and I just don't see you killing yourself for no reason.
So I think we do 12-hour sprints on the 8th. That gives people time to come in. We'll do them from like 10 to 10 or 12 to 12 or something like that. Yeah. Probably 12 to 12. I feel like that's better.
I think 12 to 12 is a good time. Yeah.
So we'll do 12-hour sprints on the 8th, and then we're just not going to have 24-hour sprints in November. You're just going to get a shorter stream for birthday sprints.
Mm-hmm.
and then I should be able to resume 24-hour sprints in December.
Yeah.
One of the first 3 weeks of December. I'm not gonna try to do it like over fucking Christmas.
No, I would do it early.
So I'll probably do it like December 10th.
Yeah.
10th and 11th, because that's the second week.
Yeah.
I'm doing Dewey's 24-hour readathon today and was fading until I found y'all.
You're welcome. I'm glowing like an angel just for this. This horrible lighting. I'm like glowing. But.
I mean, honestly, my lighting wouldn't be so bad if like the light that's attached to my fan worked.
I may try to figure out something during this. Kids, it's not a big deal.
When Sam and Mariah first moved in this house, Austin and Anthony thought it would be a great idea to have a pillow fight, and they hit the thing with a pillow and they broke it. So the fan works, thank God.
I love that.
But it does not. And if you put a bulb in it, the bulb will turn on for like 5 minutes and then die.
I hate that for you. But it's also funny.
So I told Sam that once I can get this room, I need to get my room like rearranged. And once I do that, I'm gonna get like standing lights for this quarter that like stand behind me, because then at least like the ones that have like the 5 different heads on it.
That's what I have upstairs behind my chair, if you've ever noticed.
Because I was like,
behind my reading chair is one of the ones that have like the different lights.
I was like, then I can like point one at the ceiling, but also point one like down,
so you can read. Yeah,
and like all of that. So, and he was like, "Wow, you're getting really extra with it." He was talking about he was gonna have to make me a whole sound booth in my closet to film videos.
I literally, to film my TBR video, I was like, I want to sit in my chair because I normally film on the floor, but I was like, they take a long time to film. And so then my feet are asleep and it's not comfortable and I'm not having a good time. So I was like, I want to move my, the chair that I sprint in, but the background is not good where I sprint. So I was like, oh, I'll just move the chair. This chair is freaking heavy. And I'm like moving it around to get a better background for my TBR video. I was like, I've become real extra here, people. Real extra.
That's how you know you're a professional. That's like I did not vlog when I was in Iowa. I did not vlog, but I took my vlogging equipment. This thing that I used to vlog with, my tripod, I took this, the light, like I put it all in, like it had like a bag that it came in. I put it all in its like little professional bag inside of my suitcase. Mm-hmm. And like I took my laptop, like I took all of the things, and Sam's like, are you gonna vlog? The only thing that I vlogged was when we went to the botanical gardens, and then when we went to the bookstore. But I did not take my tripod with me to do that. Like I wasn't walking around with vlogging equipment at the botanical gardens.
It would have been good if you took it with you, but
I should have. I really should. My grandma would have been like,
the other day, I went to get fancy coffee at like the coffee shop, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read like a book while I'm there, so I'll vlog that. But I'm like, okay, I need both my hands, so I'm gonna take my my smaller tripod that you can set up on a table. But then I'm like a little bit self-conscious because it's still 2 feet tall. And I'm like pulling it out of my bag to put it on the table. And I'm like, people are going to be like, what the heck is she doing?
Here's the thing. I vlogged one time in the car. Well, I vlogged a couple times in the car, but always it was like at Sam's job. Because like people aren't walking by at Sam's job.
Yeah.
But there was one day I was like, oh my God, I never did a vlog clip on the way to Dunkin'. And so I pulled my phone out and I was like talking into my phone at the gas station. And like people are walking past me, like, look, and they're like, and Sam comes out to the car and like I was done, but he's like, what the hell were you doing? And I was like, I was
weird. And I had a story very similar to this. I did a little free library tour and I was like, oh, I'll do the intro in the car.
Right.
Because, I'm going to be going out. That's a good spot to do the intro. So I'm in the car. I'm in my driveway. I am the only person in my car. And I'm vlogging, thinking I'm in my neighborhood. It's not a busy neighborhood. And all of a sudden, this entire family starts walking by the end of my driveway. And I'm just like, just keep talking. And they're like, what the heck? It's just
That's like when
I'm just in my driveway filming myself. Like it was very odd for them, I'm sure.
The one day that I filmed myself outside, which was the day that Robbie Coltrane died, like last week, when I was waiting for Ari's bus.
Yeah.
Everyone decided to show, like, I was like, okay, I have like half an hour before people start showing up, like, in my neighborhood to get their kids off the bus, right? No. I pulled my phone out and started freaking vlogging, and I was like, please excuse the wind chime above my head. But I was like, we're outside. It's a nice day. And of course, like, every parent that was there to get their kid decided to show up like 20 minutes early
Mm-hmm.
for the bus. And they're all looking at me. And I'm like, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professional, okay? Y'all lucky I came out here in jeans and not my pajamas I've been wearing all day.
Anytime I film outside, it is quiet. It is a beautiful day. I hit record and say 3 words and dogs start barking. And I'm like, sure.
It's fine. It's
Sure.
fine.
Sure.
I just, like, I feel weird when I vlog in the car, and then, like, I was trying to vlog at my grandma's house, and she would walk into the room every time I was doing it, and, like, it's one thing if, like, Sam or Mariah or Austin or Ari, like, walks in, like, I don't care. Like, they all know what I'm doing. Like, they're all, you know, very, like Austin will be like, are you on live? And I'll be like, yeah. He'll be like, all right, cool. Like, they're all very supportive. But, like, when I have to, like, say, like, oh yeah, I talk about books on YouTube, my family is like, oh, that's great. That sounds like such a fun hobby. And I'm like, yeah, you know, type thing. And so when I'm trying to, like, vlog, and then she like walked in and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm making a video. And she was like, oh. But then I was like, well, now I've lost it. I lost it because you walked in here, and now I feel weird because I know you can hear me through the door talking to myself.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
It's a weird thing to get used to doing.
Okay. Your cousin's getting married on December 10th. I mean, we could do it December 5th. I just don't want to do it the 17th because that's too close to Christmas.
Yeah.
My opinion. Like, that's the week that people start traveling for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We could definitely do it on the 5th, though. I'm like, I'm not above that. So we might do that. 12% a fairy tale. Wonderful. Thanks. I hope you're loving it. Okay, we're really going to start a sprint now.
Great.
We went on a tangent.
This is what nighttime sprints are like. They're a vibe. They're a whole different vibe.
Yeah, they're a whole different vibe. Like, I talk way more.
Today, we did so well. We stayed on our 15:45 so good earlier today, okay?
What I do during the day, I stay on it. I'm like, yes, time for new sprint. But, like, at night, I'm like, I have talked to Ari all day. So, also, I just need to say this. I'm so glad that no one asked me to do sprints last Monday because I watched Dancing with the Stars on Mondays.
I actually was going to message you when I found out Selma Blair left because of things. And I was like, she must have been wrecked. Absolutely wrecked.
This I promise we're gonna start another story. But this was, of course, the week that Ari decided she wanted to watch with me.
Oh no.
Which I'm not gonna tell her she can't watch, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, is they kept hyping this big announcement up. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is gonna happen? And then Selma was the last one to dance. And so they were like, which I guess I'll say this. If y'all are not caught up on Dancing with the Stars and you care, just
it's been everywhere. It has been everywhere. I don't see how you couldn't have seen it
because of who Selma Blair is, and like
absolutely, it has been literally everywhere.
I'm watching this, and they were like during Selma's, you know, they do like the behind the scenes thing,
the package,
They were like, during her package, you'll find out the big announcement, and she came out. And she was like, I'm gonna have to leave, and it was like immediate, like there was no stopping it. I was just like. Like boo-hoo, like crying. And Ari is sitting here like looking at me, and she like grabbed the side of my head like this, and she was like, it's okay, Mom, I know it's so sad, but it's okay. Which made me cry harder because like I was like crying because I was sad that someone was leaving, but also like crying because like she made it, like so many people went home before her, like and like
I think she would have went around for a lot longer too.
Oh, and then people were making comments about like, oh, they just gave her pity tens, and I was like, no, they did not.
No, they didn't.
Absolutely not. Because I feel like this, as much as the judges, especially Len, hyped Selma up,
Would never.
Daddy Len, let me tell you about Daddy Len, okay?
He doesn't
This-
give that kind of thing.
He's the toughest judge of them all because he's like the original OG guy. And what happened is Selma Blair left. She left Dancing with the Stars early because dancing the way she was causing micro tears in her muscles.
And with her MS, it was like very problematic.
Due to her MS, and they basically told her like, you're gonna have to stop or you're gonna have irreversible damage. And like 8 months prior to doing Dancing with the Stars, she had finally made it out of like having to be like in bed or in a wheelchair. But when they like, I was like, if they do not give her 10s, I'm never watching the show again. Like, I will never. And I mean, I know that her score did not count. Like, her score didn't count.
No, yeah, because she's already leaving.
But when they held up those 10s, and like, there was not a dry eye in that place.
No.
Like, everyone was crying. The judges were crying. What is his name?
Sasha?
The other
Oh,
host.
Alfonso?
Alfonso was crying, like Tyra Banks was crying, like everyone was crying, okay? Like everyone was looking like me. Like I was like, thank God I am not on the internet right now because this would be like embarrassing and I wouldn't even care.
I literally saw that announcement like the day after. And I was like, oh, I wonder how Neva took this.
What was crazy is the week before they did Disney Plus night and she danced to the Muppets theme song and it was such like a cute, fun, like bouncy routine. She had like her hair up in pigtails and they were like jumping on couches and stuff. And then when she came out and she was like, I'm gonna have to leave, I was like, I'm like sad, but like also like I don't know you, Selma Blair. Okay. But like I'm so proud of you that like it did the thing. Like you did the thing with muscles that did not cooperate. She can't feel her left side from like her hip down. So like these dances that she was doing, she made them look way easier than they were for her. And I was like, what? That's the way to go out. And then they gave her like all 10s. And I was like, and then people were making comments. Like I saw them on like Facebook about like they gave her pity 10s. And I just like
the thing is people will always have something negative to say, even on things that are super positive. Like people have to, for some reason, people need to spread negativity for, I don't know why people feel the need to spread negativity, but people do.
I feel like
because even whether they were pity 10s or not, it didn't matter. It's not like they mattered. Her score didn't matter.
But I also feel like none of the judges would have slapped her in the face like that.
No, I agree. I know Len
none of the judges
would have been like, it's a show.
Because they didn't even say 10. They all just stood like, this was the thing. Like, and it made me cry so hard because usually they yell out the score.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them just one by one just stood up holding up the 10. Like they didn't yell it. They didn't do any of that. And I was like, there's no way they would have slapped her in the face and been like, here's some pity 10s, the first 10s of the season. Like the first perfect score of the season because she's leaving. Like no. But also I just need to say that, listen, I voted for every person last week, which I do not usually do. Like I had told myself like I was not going to ever vote for Charli D'Amelio, not because I don't think she's talented, but because she's already a dancer. Like, and she has a large following. Like I just don't feel like you need my vote. You know what I'm saying?
She doesn't need it. Yeah.
But last week was their like personal stories week. And Charli, I feel like Charli D'Amelio may be neurodivergent because she has a lot of trouble making eye contact with the camera and with people, which is a thing that I also, as like a neurodivergent person, I have trouble with. Mm-hmm. But she came out and she talked about her struggle with anxiety of being like, because she was so young, like when she got famous TikTok, and then they got
and went famous really quickly, which is very jarring.
And then she got the drink at Dunkin'. And then so her name was like her face was like all over Dunkin' stuff. And it still is like, they still sell the Charli, like they still sell that. And then they got the show on Hulu, and she talked about like her struggle with anxiety and then incorporated anxiety into her dance. Like her partner was like covered in like this black paint and she had like a white dress on. So every time that he would touch her, like some of the paint would transfer and like leave a print on her, like on her or on her dress. And I was like, this is powerful. Okay. Like y'all all because these are like your personal stories. So.
Yeah. I always love that week when they're doing the memorable year.
Yeah. Yes, she was diagnosed in 2018 because she actually said that was her like most memorable year was when she was diagnosed with when she was finally diagnosed with MS because she finally had answers. And then after that, we see where they talk about her story and then she leaves and she comes back like it's like the next day and says that she's having to leave. And then I was like, well, this has ripped out my heart. So hello, Elyse's. I also love her. Yes, it's all over the place. Like you can find it. And also her final waltz, because that's what they did. It's the softest dance that's in like the package of what they're able to dance or whatever. Her final waltz, I believe, is also on YouTube. Like if you
it is. That's how I watched it.
But yeah, I died a little inside after that. I like literally watched it and then went to bed. Like
you're like, I need to rest.
I was like, Ari, it's time to go to bed. And she was like, okay. And she laid down and we went to bed because I was like, I'm done with this thing. Jordan Sparks because it was on her Instagram. Yes, I also love Jordan Sparks. So here's a fun fact. The year that Jordan Sparks was on American Idol, I wanted to audition for American Idol and then I checked it out. So. I just don't think. Here's the thing: people tell me that I should do like American. I don't want to do American Idol. That's like a whole like popularity contest that I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah.
I have been told to do something like The Voice because they originally like to get on the show. They hear your voice, and it's like a whole process of like an acapella and then callbacks, all that. The problem is that I have stage fright, and I don't know that a competition show like that would be good on my mental health. I wish it would be?
That makes sense. I can see how it would be bad on most people's mental health. Like it's a
bit. If you don't want to like completely watch like the whole show, I mean, it is on Disney Plus, so like you definitely can just like go watch the replays of it on Disney Plus. But all of their dances and stuff end up on YouTube, so you could type in like Selma Blair DWTS and it should all come up like with different dances and stuff. I watched Dancing with the Stars anyway. I have the last few years. I think the first year that I really got back into it was the year that Nelly was on there. And then because it was like Nelly and what's her name from Tiger King?
Oh, Carole Baskin.
Yeah, her. Unbelievable. It was like a bunch of people.
The fact that Nelly and Carole Baskin were on the same call sheet is just.
Well, I think that year was also AJ from the Backstreet Boys. I'm pretty sure.
It was. I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then I watched last season, and we had Sporty Spice last season, and we also had JoJo Siwa last season. And Ari actually watched. Did you have an accident? Okay, why don't you go potty then? And then I'll come tuck you back in. Okay, go potty and then I'll come tuck you back in. Ari actually watched last season with me because she likes JoJo Siwa. Okay, then go lay down and I'll be in there to tuck you in a second. Tuck you back in. She watched last season with me because she loves JoJo Siwa. She's like obsessed with JoJo, which I mean, she could have worse idols, honestly.
Yeah.
But she loves Selena Gomez and she loves JoJo Siwa. So I'm just kind of like, if that's the worst that I have to deal with, cool.
That's pretty good.
But they did like the Halloween episode because they always do a Halloween episode because of when the season runs.
Yeah.
And the Pennywise thing was a little too much for her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So she's like she's never seen it, like the movies, like she's never seen them. But they did a thing like in the package where JoJo Siwa did like the hiya Georgie thing.
Right.
And so now she knows like what the reference is. So if you do that to her, she will either look at you and tell you to, she'll be like, stop it, or she'll scream. It just sort of depends on what her mood is. But
Yeah.
she was like, this is so scary because JoJo was Pennywise. And then her dancer, the chick that danced with her, I can't remember her name right now, but her
Jenna.
was dressed up in like the yellow slicker and everything like Georgie.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love Nelly also.
He did. I think Daniela is a really good pro.
Danielle is a good pro.
Yeah.
Didn't she win? I think she won last season.
She won last year with Amon, yeah.
With Amon, yeah. And here's the thing, okay? I did not know who Amon was. I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't watch basketball. I don't care. And then I watched him dance, and they were like critiquing and stuff, which they do. But like he just steadily got better and better and better. And then he was so tall that there was a dance that she did with him where she literally climbed him.
Well, yeah, he's huge.
And I was like, what is happening? But you know what? Amon deserved to win because he really had like so much growth in his.
Well, and I think because he wasn't a dancer too, like, you know, that's always more impressive.
Well, and people were like, JoJo Siwa's gonna win, and I was like, I kind of hope she doesn't. Like, I don't want to.
Who are professional dancers tend not to do as well because I think people like cut that as like a negative.
Yeah, and I don't want to like discourage people that are like stars that are professional dancers or have been in the past of doing it. I just am like, I just don't want them to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want someone who's never danced a day in their life to win. Like,
yeah.
Like if Arnold Schwarzenegger's son wins this season, or the guy from what is he in Beverly Hills 90210 or whatever he's in, like if one of them wins, I'm gonna be like, especially the Beverly Hills guy, because he had a fear of dancing. Like the first week that he was on, he got physically ill because he was so scared. She did.
She stood on his shoulders.
She literally, from the floor, climbed up his body and sat on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like a child sits on your shoulders. And I was like, what is happening? Which they did get like popped a lot for like the lifts and stuff. But like, I don't know how you make sure that your toe, because the whole thing is their toe has to stay on the ground. But
there's too much of a height difference.
He's 8 foot tall. She's like 5 foot. She's like my height or something.
Yeah.
And he's like 8 foot tall. Like there's no way for her to dance with the guy and do spins and stuff where her leg is extended and her toe not leave the ground, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm not a professional dancer or a critique person of one. Okay? So, all right. I have to go talk to Ari.
Mm-hmm.
Daniela climbed him on Dancing with the Stars
last season.
Last season, yeah. He's a basketball player, and she's one of the dancers. So, yeah, she like climbed his body, and I was like, oh, this is the whole thing. Okay. All right. So I need to go. Listen, I had never seen that ever in my life. So I was like, it was a whole thing. It was, I don't know. Okay. So we're going to do another 45. So we will see y'all in 45. Hello.
Hi.
How do we do?
I got 40 pages done. And I only have 45 left, but it ain't happening. 'Cause it's midnight and I'm tired. So I'm going to stay for a small chatty bit and then I'm going to.
I'm only going to do one more sprint after this anyway, I think. So
I would be able to finish my book if I stayed, but like it's midnight and I'm tired.
I got 13 more pages, but I also had to deal with Ari in that sprint, so there's that.
Yeah.
Hello, E. Harris. I know that Courtney's already left, but good night. Wonderful.
That's always nice.
I'm gonna do one more. I think Brittany's gonna leave. Like,
I'm definitely not gonna stay for one more.
I'm gonna do one more sprint. Just to like,
I just think it's so funny how time works. Like, it's just,
right?
Like we're all. It's so different. I'm like, it's midnight. It's 2 for Jane. It's 11 for you. It's so weird.
Right. It's very weird. But I'm probably only gonna do a 30-minute sprint because honestly, like I am also tired, even though I took a nap today. Okay, so here's what he told me. He told me that for the patrons, he will do 1 video a month on Patreon.
That's a good Patreon thing.
And he said that it has to stay on Patreon for 3 months, and then if I want to, I can release it to the public.
There you go.
That's the stipulation. So Jane is part of the Patreon. So as the part of the $5, it's $5. The $5 tier. Can't remember how much my own Patreon is. It's fine. You'll get 1 video a month. I don't necessarily like. Sometimes it'll be like him on sprints. Sometimes it'll be like some kind of like themed video. I don't know, but he has agreed to 1 video a month for the patrons. So if you're a Patreon, if you want to see more of Mr. Rowan's face, now is the time to join the Patreon if you want to. It's $5. So. But I did decide not to release videos early because Brittany and I had talked about it in like on Sprint, and she said something about it messing with your algorithm. So I like looked that up. That is like a thing. So
it's the thing. I heard who told me this. And didn't tell me specifically, but it was like talked about in sprints, and it was like big YouTubers that I was listening to. Jade, I think, from JD Brain Breeds was saying it, and a couple of the other like bigger YouTubers, and they were like, it really hurts your algorithm. Like your videos that you release early do way worse just because it doesn't have a good click-through rate.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
There is a project that's coming to the Patreon though. Because I think I'm going to do it in the Patreon before I do it in the public. I mean, it's also a public thing, but it'll be longer for the Patreon. And y'all will be like my guinea pigs. So y'all can be like, you need to change this or do this or whatever.
I know what she's talking about. I'm so excited.
It's going to be great. Okay. It's going to be great.
You guys are going to love it.
Wonderful. Got to chapter 16 in Crown of Midnight. Might switch to the Way to Blood next, and been checking the University of Wyoming game. Lovely.
Very good.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to check to see if Iowa won today. Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. I don't think early access videos are that important as a Patreon user anyway.
I 100% agree with this because I already am drowning in YouTube videos. So like to get it a couple of days, like I rarely even watch them in that time frame because I'm like, oh, I'll just watch it when it comes out. Like I'm got so much on my watch later list that like to have something like I'll go, oh, I'll watch that. But then, it's live by the time I get around to it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, so like Rye, like I'm on her Patreon. She always releases like her TBR game and stuff early, and I never watch it early.
No, me neither.
I just don't. Like when I was part of like Crime Junkies Patreon, that was one of the things you could get was like the early ad-free version of the podcast. Like I just skip the ads. I don't care. Like because then because the way that Patreon works for podcasters is you get 2 different feeds.
Right.
So you get like the Patreon feed and then you get like the main feed.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost never like the only thing that I would use the Patreon feed for for like Crime Junkie is my example because that was the one that I was a part of for the longest.
Yeah.
They will release extra episodes. So like I was paying the highest tier, which is like $20 a month. Don't come for me. It was before we found out they were plagiarists. Okay. But they would give you like 5 extra episodes a week.
Mm.
But I was still listening every Monday to the regular episode, but it was 2 different feeds. So I would have to go in to the Patreon feed and get rid of the ones I'd already listened to on the main feed. And it was just on mine.
Yeah.
But when I was part of True Crime Obsessed, when I was part of their Patreon, they did give you the free, like the ad-free ones, but they had so many because they do documentaries, like true crime documentary commentary. And so they would like they did Making a Murderer as a Patreon only thing.
Mm.
So I would go into that feed for that and then listen. Like I don't listen to stuff ad free. I don't care.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have an ad that I care about. You know, I gotta miss out. Absolutely not.
I think we're so used to ads too that it's like whatever.
I think for Patreon, for patrons, I'm gonna try to do it in like March or April. Because for regular people, I want to try to do it in like September ish. I'll have to play with it a little bit for the patrons, or you guys are just gonna have to deal with it being like there's a fall theme to it. So like if I release it to y'all in April, it's gonna be a little bit weird. But I think it'll be easier to release it to you guys early and then release it to the public in September. And then after that, I'll do it kind of like in tandem with both the public and the Patreon after we like figure out the kinks. That's all I can say. I can't give y'all any clues in that. I mean, really, you could probably figure it out just from the clues I just gave. But yeah. But y'all have to be my guinea pigs to make sure that when I put this out in the public, it's not trash. Okay. But also Brittany knows what it is, and I'm pretty sure she would tell me if it was trash. So
I would definitely tell you, but it's not going to be trash, so I won't have to.
It's going to be fun. That's what I can tell you.
For sure.
But yeah, anyway. But I did take out early access because
yeah.
Oh, that's true. For Jane, it's already going to be.
That's a win-win right there.
That is a win. I mean, for everybody, I think everybody else as a patron right now is American, so they're just going to deal with like a fall theme in the spring. Like, yeah.
That is
that's a win for you, Jane. That's a win for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think Miss Brittany here is going to jump.
I am because as you can tell, my talkativeness from before the sprint to after the sprint has really, my energy has really gone down.
It's gone. I'm gonna do one more 30-minute sprint. Let me turn on my little banner thing, my last sprint banner. Don't you love how I use the one where she's like, where the smiley face is like so almost sad. Crying, like not quite.
Well, it is sad when it's the last sprint.
So sad to leave.
You know, it happens.
But we're gonna do one more 30-minute sprint, I think, and then I'm gonna call it a night, and then we won't have sprints again until Tuesday night.
You have them Tuesday. You have them Tuesday.
Yes, I have them Tuesday for Black Halloween-a-thon.
Do you know why I'm messing up tonight? Is because we're at different parts on the screen, so I got used to pointing this way all day. And getting it right, and now
you got used to pointing like this,
and that was right,
like this,
and now it's so now I'm screwed up because we're now in different positions on the screen.
Okay, Kiana said good night to you.
Night.
Jane got hidden pictures in the mail, and she's gonna read it on Halloween. That is great. I hope you love it.
Bye, Jane. Have a good day for you.
Right.
Have a good time in the future. It's Sunday too. And it's Sunday. She's in the future.
Sunday. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, Brittany, thank you for hanging out with us.
Bye.
I will put Brittany in the thing later. I did not do it earlier.
That's fine.
So thank you for hanging out with me. And
Bye.
we'll do bye. Okay, so we'll do one more 30-minute sprint. And then I'm also gonna call it an evening. Okay. So I will see y'all in 30 minutes. I'm muted. My bad. Okay, so let me start this over. Okay, first of all, I got to 45% of my book. And then I'll read these comments again. So Jane did not cook. She did not read. She cooked lunches for the week, which is great. Alexis read 29 pages. Wonderful. Kiana did laundry, and also people in my house are doing laundry. So if you can hear that, sorry. Yeah, so I was definitely muted because when Kiana said something, I looked down and I was definitely muted. Elise's picked up A Taste of Her Own Medicine by Tasha L. Harrison. It is so good. Yeah, I'm reading Jackal and it's really good. I made it to 45%. So I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow. It says I still have like 3.5 hours. So I'll either finish it tomorrow or I'll stay up all night and read it tonight. Who knows? Yeah, it was definitely me. So thank you for hanging out with me and Brittany tonight. I will have Brittany's channel linked down below in the description after we get off of here. So if you're not subscribed to her, please go subscribe. She does vlogs and sometimes she does sprints on her own channel and things like that. So that's what we do over here. My next round of sprints will be Black Wienathon sprints on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And that's really all I got, guys. That's all I got. No problem. Thank y'all for hanging out. And good night. And I will see y'all. Oh, I will have Vlogoween week 4 up on Monday, but it's going to be very short because it's only going to span over today and tomorrow, since I didn't have a voice for half the week. So I'll make sure to drop that on Instagram when that is up. So until Tuesday, bye.